The first arc of a certain magical index is the index arc. It's one of the best opening arcs in anime. It's not the best arc in the story, but it's a great introduction to the setting and characters, and a solid story in its own right. First things first, it does an exceptional job at laying the foundation for a spectacular setting. The story takes place in Academy City, where most teenagers have gone through scientific experiments that have given them powers, making them known as espers. From the first scene, we are introduced to one of the top 7 espers. We're also introduced to the fact that Touma, the protagonist, has the ability to negate esper abilities with his right hand. Already, this is an interesting setting, but it gets even better when Index is introduced. She brings the concept of magic based on religion to the story. Touma and Index's first conversation is amazing exposition because not only do both characters serve as audience surrogates for the opposite side, but it also gives the audience answers to questions they should be having based on everything that's happened so far. The most important things Index said were that she was being chased by people and that she had several grimoires. The first episode is almost entirely exposition, yet it manages to be so entertaining because I actually want to learn about the world. And then the episode ends with an epic cliffhanger. Index is sleeping in front of Toma's door, but she's bleeding out. When Touma finds her, one of the magicians chasing her down shows up and claims ownership of the mess. The plot is fascinating and well paced. The reason the magicians are after her makes them complex and sympathetic villains in this arc, but the plot twist that allows them to be redeemed and Index to be saved is foreshadowed through common knowledge. While I was watching the show, I was so invested that I never stopped to question some of the logic that the villains were using. Eventually, Touma asks an obvious question that pokes a hole in their logic and leads to the secret being unveiled, changing the direction of the plot. Science and magic collide in a fantastic way to resolve the issue. The way Miss Komoe is introduced in episode 1 and is eventually used as an important piece of the puzzle later was great planning. One thing that amazes me is the fact that the story avoided battle syndrome. Battle syndrome is a term I made up to define the problem where battle-focused stories have their plot made up of back-to-back battles and little else. The Index arc manages to stay engaging despite only having 2 fights. It keeps my attention with different types of events and good writing, which is always impressive for an action story. The characters were solid. Touma and Index were okay. Stiyl and Kanzaki had cool personalities, but even better designs. When Stiyl first appeared, he had way too much swagger. The choice to play church organs when the religious magician started showing off his powers was sick. Kanzaki's pull-up game was elite too. All the lights suddenly shut off and then she just walked out of the dark. Stiyl and Kanzaki standing together is too much swagger for one screen. Aogami and Tsujimikado only briefly appear as a trio with Touma, but they had great personalities and chemistry. The idea to combine magical powers with scientific powers was genius. It results in a setting that I could hear endless exposition about. It creates an entertaining dynamic that could be explored in later arcs. The magic system was cool. Seeing the complex magic circles and idol theory needed for one of the spells was fascinating. Unfortunately, most of the magic in the story later on is very loose and doesn't follow the established rules. I have a whole video on it. Magic names are a minor but epic concept. When magicians say them, it means they're planning on killing their opponent. Reminds me of Bleach. The first fight of this anime was such a spectacle. It really felt like I just stepped into a world of magic. The way Touma won the fight was very tactical and satisfying. I have a video analyzing that fight too. I didn't like the Kanzaki fight because there was no Achilles heel for Touma to use, but I do like the fact that she resorted to fighting without magic due to Styl's information. That shows that thought was put into the character's actions. The talk majutsu to resolve the fight also made the fight somewhat salvageable. In conclusion, this arc was all-star level. It had so much thought and quality poured into it, and was a brilliant way to start off the series. It's one of my top 2 arcs in the story. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and help me revolutionize the manga industry by buying my manga and spreading the word. All important links will be in the description.